Hi guys, it's the real Lisa Hill. Thank you so much for helping my YouTube channel to grow. I'm so excited for all my new subscribers that I got this week. And today I decided to come to you guys with a Bible story, but I'm gonna try and put a twist on it and tell it in my own words. So I'm not sure if you guys have heard about Abigail and David, but Abigail was a beautiful and intelligent woman, the Bible describes her as, and she was married to her husband Nabal, who the Bible says was very surly and mean in his business dealings. So she was married to a man who did not have a lot of wisdom. And sometimes we're married to people who do not have a lot of wisdom. So the story goes that David, who was not yet king, he was anointed as king, but he wasn't actually crowned and functioning as the king of Israel just yet. He was out with his army of men, and they were out in the wilderness. And one day David and his men, got hungry. So he sent about 10 men into the city to request Nabal, who was a very, very wealthy man who owned lots of land and lots of sheep. And he requested that he send them nourishment. And so because Nabal was not a wise man, but a very surly and mean man, he was like, I don't know who you are, David. Who are you? It's a lot of people out here leaving their land and asking for food, but who am I to help you? And so David was actually offended by Nabal's rudeness. And so he got so angry when his men returned to the camp and told him how Nabal had responded, that he decided that, gird up. He took a few hundred men with him, and I think a few hundred stayed back at the camp, and they decided, we're going to roll up on Nabal. He said by morning, not one man will be alive in his town because he was so offended. And so what happened next was one of Nabal's servants ran to Abigail, his wife, and he shared with her what her husband had done. And he was like, oh, we are in trouble. You gotta fix this. And so Abigail, being a beautiful, intelligent woman, but also a very wise woman, decided to take it into her own hands and cover and fix her husband's mess. So she had all her maidservants and people to prepare bread and food and loaves of figs and just all types of nourishment. And she got on her horse, her donkey, and she fled, and she told her servant, just go before me, I'm going to come. And she ran off with all of these goods to take to David to intervene from the wrath that was actually going to fall upon her town. And so when she saw David, she got off of her donkey and she fell at his feet and she worshiped. She put her face down and she said, oh, please, my husband is a fool. His name means folly. And please forgive him for his foolishness. I've come in peace. And I'm so sorry for what he said to you all. That's not the way to treat a person. And I'm saying it in my own kind of way. But basically, she apologized for her husband's ignorance. And she prayed a prayer. She said, may the Lord bless you. And she spoke blessings on David. And so David was like, well, look at here. Somebody got some sense. And he was like, thank you. We received this. Thank you for not making me shed blood today. Thank you for helping me not to kill all the people or the men in your town. I received this, and may you be blessed and go in peace. So Abigail dashed back on her donkey, went back home. But when she got there, her husband Nabal was having a dinner or a feast, and he was actually drunk. So she decided to wait until the next morning because she was a woman of wisdom and she knew not to approach her husband at the wrong time. So the next morning when she approached him and she told him everything that had happened, how what he said enraged David and how they were coming to kill him with swords drawn, and how she intervened and gave him all the food and blessings. And her husband was shocked. The Bible says that his heart failed. He just turned like stone. And then about 10 days later, the judgment of God fell upon him and Nabal died. And as soon as David got news that Nabal died, he sent word to Abigail and he said, can y'all go and tell her that I want her to be my wife? And so she received the news with goodness. And she said, awesome, in my own words again, I will be happy to wash the feet of your servants. I'm coming. She got on her donkey, and that day she became a widow, but also the wife of the new future King David. And so this message actually is for anyone who's in a relationship with someone who is foolish. And I'm not saying that God is going to kill your spouse or remove your spouse or take your spouse away. Let's get that straight. But what I am saying is that sometimes we are caught in situations and we are in relationships, especially marriages, with people who do not have wisdom, who do not respect peace and wise dealings, people who don't know how to navigate, and therefore it causes us to be in a pickle. It causes us to be in a bind. You may have a spouse that overspends. You may have a spouse that stays out all night. You may have a spouse that does all types of disrespectful things, and you're at wit's end and you really don't know how to handle it. And so what I want to encourage you to do today is pray. Pray and seek God and ask God for wisdom as to how are you to navigate. So Abigail really didn't even have time to pray. Because she was a woman of wisdom, she knew immediately how to intervene and respond. And so today I speak blessings on you. I want you to know that God knows what you're going through. He sees your situation. Don't give up. Use wisdom. Pray, seek Him, and ask Him for guidance on how to free you and deliver you from bondage. So if this message has been something that encouraged and helped you, please subscribe. Go all the way down, click on the notification bell so that every time I upload new content, you'll be notified. Once again, thanks for listening and hope to see you guys next time.